Good evening. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity for allowing our theater students to come perform tonight. I'm Shelley Fuller and this is Kelly Coley. We are the directors with what is known as Calcasieu Theatrical Arts. That is a combination of LaGrange, Barbe, St. Houston, Washington Marion, Iowa, and Bell City. So basically east of the bridge. It's students that are really interested in performing arts. It's their outlet. A lot of them are going into this professionally. We have had the opportunity to compete with them, and they have blown it away on a national level. So I hope that you enjoy just a little snippet of Frozen Junior. We're in the middle of production. We have performances all throughout this week. We have one this morning. They performed in front of 800 elementary students from all over Calcasieu Parish. And then they have 2 shows a day, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, where they have sold out shows where kids are coming in, they're really experiencing theater. Then we have weekend shows as well, Friday night and Saturday. And Saturday night, you can find us on Facebook or Instagram, Calcasieu Theatrical Arts. If it works with your schedule, we would love for any of you to join us, just so that you can really see the production level and these kids in action.
Yeah, any of the field trip shows, if you just pop in, we'll find you a seat. Unless it's Wednesday, because we're 12 seats over. Besides Wednesday,
We're good.
Okay, besides Wednesday, we got 2 seats. We got 2 seats available. So yeah, just come by, we'll let you in them. And then this is just a small number. If you, and I just want to brag on, we just finished state FESP competition out of, I think we had 23 superior winners, which is the highest you can get that qualified those students for nationals. We're bringing 43 kids to nationals. Last year we won 2 national titles. And if you were an all-around high perfect score, this one, raise your hand. We got, and then Fisher in the back. So we got those right here. Here we go. All right.
I'll protect you. It's been a short life, but it's a one. Christoph home.
Look, he's brought a girl. Oh, no. We're not a couple. I'm just telling you. Not a couple. Are you absolutely sure about that? Yes.
Definitely not a couple.
Well, then what is the issue? It's not probably hang on now.
Or the clumsy way he
We
walks.
need your help.
Or the pear-shaped, square-shaped weirdness of his feet. Wait, what? No, we wash his well. We always sort of smelly.
Come on! We have a problem, so we can get a fixer-upper. So we gotta keep lost. So we can get a fixer-upper. Mr. Setting up. Fixer-upper up in the little bit of love. Listen!
We are changing changes. We will also be changed. We're only saying that blood's not force is
Powerful and strange. People make bad choices if they're mad, scared, or stressed. Rolling along their way, rolling on their beds, do nothing but compare. Everyone's a little fixer-upper, that's what it's all about. We need each other to raise us up and round us out. Everyone's a little fixer-upper, who puts stuff to show.
Fixer-upper, it's a fixer-upper.
Drink, 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 drink. Love to love.
If anyone would like a blue card, you'd like to speak on an item on the agenda, please pull a blue card and fill one out at this time. We'll be starting momentarily.
All right, ready, guys? Jason, actually, how should we go? 1, 2, 3. Good job. Thank you.
All right, we will be starting the board meeting in about 2 minutes. Starting up in about 2 minutes. If you'd like to speak on any agenda item, please fill out a blue card at the table. Ms. Carlisle. All right, we will be starting in about 1 minute. 1 minute, it is 4:59. I'd like to call to order the Calhoun Parish School Board meeting here at the main office this Tuesday, March 11th at 5 p.m. Our prayer and pledge will be handled by Dr. Betty Washington. Please stand.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for allowing us to join once again as a group to honor your name and to handle the business of our system. We thank you, Lord Jesus, for letting us come here safely, get here safely. We thank you for our children who are so talented and blessed us with their performance, a snippet of their performance. We thank you, Lord Jesus, for our faculty, our staff, and our administrative staff, and we thank you for allowing us to come tonight. We ask that you give us guidance, you give us wisdom in order to make the decisions we need to make tonight. This I ask in your holy name. Amen. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Dr. Van Meter, roll call.
Yes, sir. Ms. Ayo.
I'm here.
Mr. Baumgartner.
Here.
Mr. Brogan. Here. Mr. Castillo. Here. Ms. Fontenot.
Here.
Ms. Gay. Mr. Hardesty. Here. Ms. Hardy McReynolds.
Here.
Mr. Natale. Here. Mr. O'Banion. Here. Mr. Pichon. Here. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Tarver. Reverend Wallace.
Here.
Dr. Washington.
Present.
You have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. Item number 3, approval of minutes.
Second.
All right, it was moved by Mr. Bro and seconded by Dr. Washington. All in favor of approving the minutes? All right, any nays? Ayes have, motion carries. Number 4, presentations, we have none, and we are at number 5,
Yes, sir.
superintendent's report.
Yes, sir. You've all received your Head Start report. The program governance, March's policy council meeting was canceled due to the Fatherhood Conference in New Orleans. Black History programs were held at several sites, and students represented African American achievers, past and present. Community supporters read to students on the 100th and 101st day of schools, and students enjoyed stories from local judges, police officers, city officials, retired educators, parents, and local business owners. Fatherhood Valentine Bash was a huge success as students and dads made Valentine crafts and completed STEM activities. J.D. Clifton went big for Mardi Gras with a parade led by the Washington Marion Band. Parents enjoyed watching the children march behind the band and cheered for the kings, queens, dukes, and duchesses. The criteria to be on the court was to read books at home and track them in a reading log, and the logs were submitted 2 weeks before the parade. For program operations, our enrollment was 450. You've each received your school population report for January reflecting the numbers, or for February, reflecting the numbers from February 1st to February 28th. I'd like to report our February 2025 sales tax numbers from our general budget, which show collections of $1,072,289, or 6.8% below budget for the 8th month of the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Collections were $1,592,633, or 9.7% below collections for the same month last year. And after 8 months, collections are $3,958,760, or 3.2% above budget, and $124,067, or 0.1% below the same period last year. Hurricane information is included in your packet. Students from CPSB participated in the VEX Robotics State Championships this month, and we had teams from several schools earn tickets to Worlds, including teams from CS Cooley, FK White, Benton Middle, Barb High, and Benton High. Congratulations to all teachers and students involved. Oliver Paul Richard from TS Cooley was named a Student of the Year finalist for the state in elementary, and congratulations for this amazing accomplishment. Our Advanced Studies Department held their second annual Advanced Studies Banquet this month. Students in the Gifted and Talented program, as well as the Advanced Placement program, were honored. Thank you to Dr. Caldwell and her staff for a job well done. CPSB also held our 3rd annual Braille Literacy Night last night in conjunction with the Sulphur Lions Club. Students were able to showcase some of their Braille skills as well as the technology that they utilize with their families. Thank you to Ms. Krista Folks and her department for putting this on. And I know I always always give you a CSRS report for the RFP for HVAC, and we're continuing on track with that. It's out and should be on track for the June 3rd board meeting. This concludes the superintendent's report.
All right, thank you, Dr. Van Meter. Are there any questions for Dr. Van Meter? All right. Next item on the agenda is executive session. We have none. Number 7, take appropriate action. We have none. Number 8, committee reports. A, employee benefits, February 18th, 2025. Billy Bro, the chair.
All right. County Fair School Board Employee Benefits Committee met in the boardroom on Tuesday, February the 18th. Quorum is present. The following information on the status of the health insurance plan, like the history of it, was provided by Ms. Kathy Sonia and Mr. Richard Gregory with Hub International. If you look at our 8-year run over the last 8 years, you kind of see in 2018, 2019, we had no increase in the plan. 2019 and 2020, we had no increase in the plan plus a premium holiday. 2021, we had a 2% increase in the plan. 21 to 22, we had no increase in the plan with a premium holiday. From 22 to 23, we had a 12.45% increase in the HOBS with some changes. 23 to 24, we had a 5.17% change in the HOBS plans, and then 24 to 25, which is last year, y'all know we had a 4.98% increase absorbed fully by the board. This year, we're looking at, we make no changes to any of the plans. We're looking at from 25 to 26, recommended changes of 13.7% increase. Now, that's a bump in the road. The state doesn't allow us, since we're self-insured, to be able to kind of put money aside to be able to kind of offset the peaks and valleys in the road. Because if we run too much of a surplus, we've got to give it back, which is what happened on some of those years in the past. But if you average all of that out over the past 8 years, we're actually only running a little over 4% increase over the past 8 years. That's incredible. There's not a lot of other consumer products out there over the past 8 years. It's only averaged that small of an increase. So that's kudos to what the board has kind of done. The benefits that we provide, without really having to make a lot of big, massive changes to a lot of the plans. And also, I think the staff has done, and Jay and them and their department has done, the employees understand that we're fully self-funded. So that kind of helps out quite a bit with that. Now, if you bear with me, we have some stuff to kind of go through. A summary of the prior year's experience was also presented. Medical claims for 25-26 required funding of 13.7% over current funding. This reflects the current claims experience along with the national medical trend of 6% and the national pharmacy trend of 9%. The annualized dollar amounts for the total cost of the budget rates are currently 51.7 million and projected for next year 25 to 26 at a funding value of 58.8 million. Due to projected claims costs for 25-26, if no plan changes are made, a 13.7% increase would be necessary. The following plan changes were presented and correlated premium changes if implemented. Option 1 is the new plan option added, which is the middle plan, kind of splits it into a high plan and a low plan. High deductible plan would give you $2,000 deductible to $4,000 out of pocket. Out of pocket premium maximum is $4,000 for the individual, $8,000 for the family. Co-insurance is 70% in network. Doctor visits and drugs apply to the deductible. Option 2, the high plan change would be 12.5%. Increase in doctor visit copays, increase in doctor visit copays, $30 primary care, $45 specialist, and $40 to the primary care, and $55 for a specialist. Increase in pharmacy deductible from $100 up to $250, an increase of a copay of $5 per tier, along with an implement of number 1 new plan option. Option 3 is the high plan change is 12%, which includes all the changes from 1 and 2, with the increase of out-of-pocket maximums of 4,000 individuals, 12,000 families, to $4,500 individual, $13,500 for the family. After discussion on the plan changes, motions was made and seconded and unanimously voted on for option number 3. So far move on with that half of the committee.
All right, coming from committee needs no second. Do I have any questions in regards to that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries, ayes have it.
All right, the next item presented by Ms. Sonia with Trustmark Life Insurance Renewal after no changes to the basic option, optional life insurance rate last year. There was an adjustment this year. The real rate for 25-26 plan are increasing from $1.43 per thousand to $1.50 per thousand for employees and retirees. Basic optional life insurance. The monthly permitted rates are increasing from 91 cents per thousand to 96 cents per thousand. Dependent life, voluntary life, voluntary dependent life has no changes to the on a motion, and it was seconded, was recommended that the renewal of Trustmark life insurance, Trustmark life insurance plans with an increase in life insurance premiums from $1.43 to $1.50 for basic and optional life contract rates from 91 cents to 96 cents per thousand. And it was approved unanimously by the committee, so I therefore move on behalf of the committee.
All right, all in favor of the Trustmark Life Insurance Renewal Plan as read by the committee chair, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Motion carries, ayes have it.
Additional information discussed during the renewal presentations were Express Scripts, the GoodRx generic drug pricing will integrate it at point of sale. The wellness program, the 2025 awareness fair will be September the 20th at the Lake Charles Event Center from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Participation staying steady at 450 participants. The 24-25 pilot program with the wellness leads at 2 locations. The 25-26 program will roll out to all locations. The group Medicare Advantage runs on a calendar year basis. January 1, 25 received a 9% increase in adjustments. The 26 renewal will be available in Sheridan fall of 25 this year. The Humana Dental, the Couch Square School Board is in its second year of a 2-year rate guarantee. The 2026 will be the third year with a rate cap of 8%, which was negotiated on by the graders and Jay and his staff, which is good. First Financial accident plan is moving to the Guardian to align with the critical illness and cancer plans. There being no further action, motion was made to adjourn the meeting. So I therefore move on behalf of the
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Brown.
I do want to kind of point out a couple of different things. There was a lot of work that went on by few of the board members that kind of met with Jay Bergeron and Hub and Gregory and Sonia. And we did a lot of crunching numbers, looking at different things, looking at trends, a lot of that, and actually dealing with one of the actuaries. So if y'all never had the experience of dealing with an actuary, sometimes it's not a pleasurable experience, but you do learn a lot. But it gave us the ability to be able to throw out ideas, try to be proactive on what we're doing. So for y'all lining that up for us, that was huge. They're also being extremely proactive on what they're going to try to do with some of the drug cards to help us out in the long run on that. That normally doesn't happen when you've got people, but when you've got like Hub and the Gregory's and Ms. Sonia and Jay and them kind of leading the pack, they're going to get ahead of that for us, and it's a benefit for for all of our employees and the retirees on that program. So I personally want to thank you, Jay Bergeron, and Hub and the Gregory's and Ms. Sonia for what y'all done. Not only the past years, but especially since we're kind of running this year. But again, we're not allowed to be able to store monies on the side to be able to fund this, because as like I noted earlier, the years where we've had no increase, or we had to give premium holidays because we came in good and we were kind of overfunded, had we been allowed to keep some of that in reserves, we really would have been in a whole lot better shape. This also, that 13% increase, 12.5% increase that we're taking this year does not include the school board clawing back the 4.9% increase that we absorbed last year. So that's huge for the employees. And who's for the board for doing that? So I'll stop.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Brewer. All right, next on the agenda, 8B, Superintendent Evaluation Committee, Dr. Washington.
The Calcasieu Parish School Board Superintendent's Evaluation Document Committee met Tuesday, February 18, 2025 in the boardroom at 3310 Broad Street, Lake Louisiana. A quorum was present. The meeting was called to order by Dr. Washington at 6:25 p.m. The roll call was called by Superintendent Van Meter. There was no pledge of prayer as this meeting followed the Employee Benefits Committee meeting. That was the second meeting of the evening. Mr. Brewer was a second by Ms. Hardy McReynolds on the motion to accept the evaluation version based on the contract with the superintendent. The motion carried with no opposition. There was a discussion on several changes to be made, and the contract version was accepted on a unanimous vote with changes on motions by Mr. Brewer and Mr. Pishon. The revised version will be presented to the full board at the March 11, 2025 meeting. However, there is one change I think we need to consider when making corrections in the evaluation document. I added a statement under professionalism that said the superintendent will assume responsibility for the personal actions of subordinates. I mean professional actions, not personal.
So moved.
All right,
So moved that we accept that change.
all right. It was moved by Mr. Brewer to accept the change and recommendation upon Dr. Washington, and seconded by Mr. Hardesty. All right, all in favor? Any nays? All right, motion carries, the ayes have it.
Oh, she got that.
Okay. So on behalf of the committee, I move that we accept the full evaluation instrument document.
We're good on that all together, okay.
Okay.
All right. So coming from committee, it needs no second. But however, with the committee's report and Dr. Washington's addition, we already had it. Are there any questions? All in favor of the committee report as is for the superintendent's evaluation, say aye. Aye. Any nays? All right. Motion carries, the ayes have it. Thank you, Dr. Washington. Okay, yes, sir.
There was a lot of work that went into that from Ms. Beck. That was some people would say big, beautiful document, but I know there's a lot of work that went into that, so thank you for giving that to us, and it's a whole lot better than it was in the past.
Thank you. Dr. Washington.
Dr. Washington requested a motion to adjourn at 6:49. Mr. Hardesty with the second by Mr. Brewer offered a motion to adjourn, and the motion carried on a unanimous vote.
Report. Thank you very much, Dr. Washington. All right, item number 9, take appropriate action. And on these items, I would entertain a motion to consider all action items together, but we will discuss and vote each individually. Items A through. It was moved by Mr. Vitale to accept items A through D, and seconded by Ms. Hardy McReynolds to accept items A through D and discuss and vote on each one of those individually. And I'll read them individually as we go through the items. We'll open it up for discussion and then vote. Right? 9A, approval of resolution providing for the levy and collection of sales tax for a 10-year period. as listed in the resolution. Any comments, Mr. Taco? All right, Linda,
This is to accept what
All right.
has been passed.
any questions, board? All right, all in favor about item A, 9A, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Motion carries, ayes have it. 9B, ratify, approve, and confirm the superintendent's declaration of default and contract termination of the general contractor on the Rossi Annex Project, HL 73801, and for the superintendent to execute contracts and other documents appropriate for completion of the project.
So this is some work we're doing at the Rossi Annex. The contractor was not fulfilling their end of the bargain and the contract, and so we've been working with the surety to find somebody else. We just need y'all to approve that. It's the same contractor that we dealt with previously.
All right, with that being said, all right, no questions? All in favor to 9B, to ratify and approve superintendent's declaration of default, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Motion carries, the ayes have it. 9C, consideration of ITEP request by Phillips 66. Are there any comments on that?
So this is an ITEP request from Phillips 66 for extension. We do have some representatives here tonight. If y'all have any questions, I know y'all had an opportunity to ask questions and get some information. I'll have some information before y'all as well.
Are there any comments or any questions?
I just want to say, I'm sorry, no, go ahead. I just want to say thank y'all for all y'all do for, not only the schools, but Calcasieu Parish and the surrounding areas as well. It doesn't go unnoticed by many in the community.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Ms. Ayo?
I'm going to second that, thank you. I have a question, and it's not going for them. I thought when our governor signed the paper to remove ITEP that this wasn't something.
So it really depends on when the original ITEP was granted as well. So you're going to see, you probably explain it way better than me anyway.
All right, you can give your name and obviously the company that you're with.
Yes, sir. My name is Jesse Broderick with Summit Credits. We're a consulting firm that assists with the compliance for the industrial tax exemption program for numerous companies. And you're correct, the governor did, sign some changes to the ITEP program. This particular application, when it went into effect, was under the brand new rules that were put into place by Governor Edwards. And there was a brief period of time, about 7 months. Generally, these renewals do not come back to the locals for approval, but because this fell within that 7-month window, it falls under those rules and it has to continue to apply based on those rules. So LED is telling us that we have to come back to you. The company is coming back to you to ask for your approval for the renewal, which would be a 3-year renewal at 80% exemption.
All right, any other questions or comments?
I would just like to say thanks, Phillips 66, Megan and Scott. I appreciate everything you do. And like you said, it's just not for Calcasieu Parish, it's surrounding areas, especially with the kids. So I'm all in favor for this passage as well.
All right. Any other comments? All right, the proof is here. As we say, we have it in front of us. All right, all in favor for 9C to accept the consideration of ITEP requested by Phillips 66, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Motion carries, ayes have it. 9D, consideration of employee salary increase from dedicated sales tax fund.
Yes, sir. After evaluation of revenue of the dedicated sales taxes from recent years, staff is suggesting that an adjustment be made to the salary schedule for all employees. Staff recommends funding a $2,000 raise for teachers and a $1,000 raise for support staff from the dedicated sales tax to be effective starting in the 25-26 fiscal year. This equates to approximately a 4% raise for teachers and support staff. Staff evaluated several variations of the possibility of different salary increase plans, and the total cost of the implementation will be about $10 million. This additional pay would be listed as an additional line on each paycheck, and staff recommends making the above changes. with a salary schedule effective starting in the 25-26 school year.
There being no questions, I suppose. All right.
So I know we looked at a lot of this stuff with leapfrog and everything like that, and I appreciate y'all coming up with this to help offset
Yes, sir.
in costs and everything like that. But as we discussed, we're very lacking on our support staff's pay. It's affecting everybody the same. And so I personally like to file a motion to do the 2,000 for teachers still and 1,400 for support.
Okay. Just to let y'all know, that is one of the plans that we looked at. What that would be is roughly the same, or it would be the same percentages that would be distributed if we did this all in October. So normally what would happen when we do it in October is $1,000, but for every $1,000, let's say, of teacher, it's 700 for support, so about 70%. That would make the percentages of raise per year a little bit different, but that is one of the plans that we looked at. But the cost difference between those two is about a little less than $1 million a year. So where one is a little less than 10 million, one is a little.
Okay, I believe we have a motion. You made a motion on the floor. All right. It was moved by Mr. Deschamps and seconded by Mr. O'Banion to increase the support staff. The salary increase to 1,400. Is that it? Or you want to restate it in your own words to make sure that it's okay? All right, Mr. O'Banion, do you have any comments on that? All right. All right. And Mr. Cassie, go ahead.
So we're gonna come back to leapfrog in a few months, most likely. And we're gonna be discussing increasing in pay, which may benefit mostly support personnel versus teachers.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we're gonna try to give everyone an increase, right?
And remember, the first thing we're doing with leapfrog is working teacher salary schedule, right?
So to get that where it's not 100 steps.
That's correct. Yes, sir. To a much more reasonable number. We can do anything else you want. After that, they did make some suggestions on the non-teacher side as well. Really, a lot of it revolved too around the number of steps. So for example, we've got those folks that top out at, is it 22? 22 steps. Yeah, so, and we've got folks that work a whole lot longer than that on the support side, where teachers don't necessarily top off. I mean, you know, with a teacher salary schedule that goes to 90 steps, it's not really.
It doesn't mean you're 90 years old.
No, sir. But at the same time, that's one of the things that we can look at too. This wouldn't affect that. What this would do is put money directly into folks' pocket every month. Now, it is taking it from the salary supplement, right? But for the last several years, salary supplements in October have been getting bigger and bigger. And what this would do is let folks be able to budget for that every month.
And do we have plans to, in the future, taking that salary supplement over the past few years and then maybe divvying it up over a 12-month period versus a?
So that's what this does. What we hate to do, that's exactly what this does for a portion of it. What we hate to do is take and guesstimate out too much, because the taxes do go down. Yes, sir. Then what ends up happening is, you know, we can't have that happen. We've got to be safe. So where we actually started with this was going to Mr. Bourne and saying, Mr. Bourne, looking at the trends from the past several years, tell me what number is safe. And the answer was around $10 million. We're safe at around $10 million, and so that's where we kind of backed into it from there.
So by doing this, is this at any time, say we can reduce this amount from 1,400 to 700 and 2,000 to 1,500,
well,
the tax base gets too small?
What it does is basically chips into the October supplement, right? So what would end up having? Yes, sir, that's correct.
So if they were permanent?
Yes, sir, that's correct. And actually, this already exists to the tune of about $4,000 just from this supplement that was baked in from the start. And then what has happened is those sales taxes have increased over time. And so this is just a way to go and adjust that. Now, what can happen in the future as well is, you know, let's hope that sales taxes continue to go up and up and up. Having it as a separate line item like what we're going to do would make it a little bit easier to adjust those in the future if we can.
All right, Mr. Vitale?
So, I apologize, I should know this, but I don't remember.
Yes, sir.
What's the ratio on the supplement October, support personnel?
It's 70%. So what ends up happening is for every $1,000, let's say, support gets $700 of a teacher.
Okay, so,
So this would, what Mr. Pichon is suggesting is making those ratios the same for this.
and so whenever they go through supplement, there wouldn't be any confusion, whereas right now, if we accept it the way it is, they would actually get a little bit more than seven, they would get, there wouldn't be as big a discrepancy, because they're not getting as much on this end.
What would happen is the percentages would be a little bit different because what we figured was, and what the state has done the past several years, is done the 2,000, 1,000. That ends up being about a 4% increase, whether you're talking about teachers or whether you're talking about staff. It's about 4%, right? If we did the 2,000, 1,400, it would still be, of course, 4% for teachers. It'd be a little bit more, you're looking at about 6% for support. That's correct, yes, sir. We had long discussions on the different options and what folks, would see as fair out of it.
All right, Mr. Brewer, and then Ms. Hill.
Been talking about this for a while, but trying to get this done, so I appreciate y'all finally coming around and doing it. The only thing that, and I understand the motion to be able to do that, and I want to give everybody as much as we can, what we have to be careful with is this is an income stream coming off of tax dollars. That number can vary wildly. The number that doesn't vary is the number of employees that we have. So if the tax dollars go down and the number of employees that we have, the tax dollars come down, then you end up with all kinds of sorts of problems that you don't want to really have to. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but one thing that the board has always been real good at is holding money on, all the hurricanes that we have. There's a lot of parishes out there that didn't have money to repair schools. Not only that, didn't have the money to make payroll. This board has never had that problem. And it doesn't sound like it's $1 million when you're talking to that, but it is. I would rather leave it the way the original motion that staff came out with and keep that and then give them more on the back end. Because if it comes back in and the economy does go bad, and if we all know it's gonna happen, it's just a matter of not if, but when. It may happen 20 years from now or not. But if we're not fiscally responsible, because remember, we got a multi-budget this for multi-years. I mean, it's $400, and I understand that, but I would rather, and I'm not saying that they don't deserve it, but I would rather stay with the pattern that we've had before us to be able to do that we know we're gonna have the money to be able to do that if things go south, without having to come back in and have staffing conversations. That's what we don't want to get into. And that's the only reason why I'm gonna vote against the motion. It's not that I don't think that our sports staff needs that. I think we do. But it's a pattern that we've done over the years. We've got the plan for multi-year budgets, and we've got to be able to take consideration that if, everything that you see now, what's going on, the economy does turn, it could get ugly. If you think some of the conversations in the past, this could be 10 times worse.
All right, Ms. Ayo, and then Mr. O'Banion.
I'm here with Connie Necessary first.
Well, go ahead, maybe y'all.
Let's start, so. Mr. Bourne, I know you've gone over this fine-tooth comb. Can we afford 1,400? I know that was one of the options y'all were looking at.
My preference would be the original motion, but going to the 1,400, I'm not going to down that is.
Okay.
So we would be okay.
Okay. And my other concern is when we met about leapfrog, one of the legit concerns is our support staff. Do you have a plan other than this? Because this isn't gonna.
Yeah, so this does increase a little bit, right? One of the other things we could do, we just alluded to right there, I think the fact that our support staff tops out well before retirement age doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. And so to be able to extend those is something that we would want to look at doing in the future too. I'm not ready to come to you with that today. But that is something that, I would say we would need to look at.
And when you have those discussions in the future, we would have to take into account this action. We can't have those discussions and pretend this doesn't happen, because this does have an effect. Because it does increase percentage-wise the teachers less than it increases the support staff. But it creates other problems too, which we need to get into right here. But we would have to take this action into effect with any future conversations.
This is, I'm trying to replay this problem in my mind. We needed to bring our support up.
Yes.
And this is just, this will
This,
assist.
this brings them up a bigger percentage than brings both teachers and support up. It brings support up a little bit bigger percentage than teachers. And so it does close that gap a little bit.
So you'll incorporate this action and then reevaluate and see where it's at.
All right, Mr. O'Banion?
And that's what I was gonna say, this amount, I mean, it's a very small amount. I mean, I know everything we do, it ends up being a lot of money, but I just think support personnel, I mean, not a matter of need, I mean, if you're counting on your pay to survive, you almost can't do it, so. I think we need to do this, and, Dr. Van Meter brought it up too, the steps. We
Yes, sir.
certainly need to do away with putting the cap on that.
Well, I wouldn't say do away with putting the cap,
Well,
right? What I would say, everybody has a cap, even teachers have a cap.
right, but
And when we go to a new
We need to
teacher
look.
salary schedule, but I would agree that that cap doesn't need to be 22.
Yeah.
Right, it needs to be a good bit longer than that. Our goal is to have an employee come with us and stay to retirement.
Yeah.
Right, so in my mind, we need to at least have a scale
Yeah.
that goes out to retirement.
maybe take some of those steps off the teachers and add it to the support.
Not quite that simple, Mr. O'Banion, but, that's the idea.
Well, all right, and Mr. Natale? Go ahead.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Are we calling this a raise, or are we calling this a supplement paid out of 12 months?
Well, it's a raise for the teachers. It figures into their salary schedule, and it's coming from the tax supplement pot, right? So what's gonna end up happening is their supplement will go down from what they would have got. So let's say, for example, all the numbers stayed the same between last year and this year, right? And so this past year, the teachers got a $7,000 supplement in October. What would end up happening is we've taken $2,000 out of that and spread it out over the course of the year, and it would be $5,000 instead of $7,000. So, but they are getting a raise in their monthly check. So every month, it's gonna go up.
I know the language sometimes, they want to get a raise, it's not a supplement, so.
It is,
Still raise.
gotcha. I understand where you're coming from.
Raise implies it's there forever.
And by incorporating this into the salary schedule, you get a raise.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right, Dr. Washington.
I just want to say I'm going to support Mr. Bishop's motion. I think that, like Mr. Rose said, they do deserve this. And, I just don't see any other way to assist those support staff in receiving a decent teaching.
All right, thank you very much. No other comments? All right, so look, I'll make a comment and then we will take vote on the subsequent motion by Mr. Bishop and seconded by Mr. O'Banion. But this is a forever an increase. Doesn't matter what, if it is passed, that is, it doesn't matter what taxes and look like or what that revenue may look like from tax dollars. This here is an actual, once it's voted in, it's permanent. So that can't be taken away.
That's what y'all are committed to.
So
It's just coming from the pot of money set aside from that tax.
okay, all right. All in favor for consideration of employee salary increase from dedicated sales tax fund with the increase of support staff to 1,400 as moved by Mr. Pishon, seconded by Mr. O'Banion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays, say nay. Any nays? All right, motion carries, ayes have it. All right. Number on 12A. All right. No 10, no 11, none. 12A, additions to Western Heights Elementary District 23 bond funds. Any questions? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any nays? Motion carries, ayes have it. Correspondence none, condolences and recognitions. We're going to start on my left this time. I tricked you, huh? Mr. O'Malley.
All right, I've got, Lawton Royer, state runner-up, LHSAA wrestling. And they haven't won yet, but been in high school. And I just said that to ask where you were at the game.
You gotta represent, that's understood. All right, and Mr. Bongo.
Yeah, I have two condolence letters. One, Ms. Keisha Askew, the principal of Gills Elementary, she just lost her mom last week. And also to Ms. Sarah Petchoff, she's the first grade teacher at Gillis, she lost her mom as well. I'll bring those to you.
Ms. Bono? All right, Mr. Castile?
And one for Leslie Hillary and Mindy Meter, that both teach at Mosswood Middle School. But their grandmother passed away and she was over 100.
All right, Ms. Artsy? All right. Mr. Talley, Ms. Hardy McReynolds? All right, Mr. Bro, Dr. Washington, Mr. Pishon?
Can you add me to Mrs. Petroff?
And Ms. Ayo?
Really a letter of recognition, but I'd like to acknowledge our nurse at Benton Middle School. She's the leading district in the wellness points, and also that has done an excellent job organizing the American Heart Association. And I can't pronounce her last name. She's Nurse Carol.
All right, thank y'all very much. All right, number 15, scheduled committee meetings. A and P committee meeting on Thursday, March 27th at 5 p.m., followed by budget committee and C&I committee. Number 16.
Just a question real fast.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason for Thursday versus Tuesday? Just,
It was, I think it was, Ms. Boyd's out of town in the conference, he's going back.
okay. Thank you.
All right, motion to adjourn. All right, it was moved by Mr. O'Banion, seconded by Mr. Baumgartner. All in favor, say aye. Any nays? Motion carries. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.